Hello fellow YouTubers, welcome back to YouTube Gaming Community number 134. So, just quick update. I'm only going to guarantee YouTube Gaming Community once a week because work didn't just like slowly ramp up. Like originally I thought, when I said last video, I'm going to make 2 videos a week, that work would slowly ramp up. Instead it went straight from slow to insane. So, simply put, only going to guarantee 1 YouTube Gaming Community video a week. If I have time to do 2, I'll do 2. But like I did this week with Skyrim, I'll be making more videos based on my opinion or whatever, but game news or whatever it is I find interesting in gaming. So let's get to our topic of the day. And Steve BenwaysWorld Rant, YouTube Twat, ISP Twat. Now, I've had this happen to me before, where what happened to him is someone took one of his videos, they rebranded it, which means they changed the intro, maybe they changed something else in the video, and they put it on their channel as their own. Now, a lot of times people do this. You may never know if someone doesn't tell you or you don't accidentally somehow come upon it. I accidentally came upon it because I went to go check the comments in that video, and I saw it to the side. All they did was chop up YouTube, and they left the rest of the gaming community. And not only did they do that, they made a torrent of it. And I sent them a message and they never responded back to me, so I'm assuming they had bad intentions with the torrent. You never know. But the channel's gone now, the torrent's gone now, and that's all that matters. And what I think of people who steal people's videos is these people are lazy, uncreative, don't want to put the time and effort into it. Because even if you just turn the camera on and talk about a topic, in your mind, you've already pictured some of what you're going to say. You have put some effort into it, some time into it. And usually when you come upon a channel that has stolen someone's video, you'll find a lot of their other videos are stolen also. Now, if you ask my opinion, what should happen to people who steal people's videos? In my opinion, their channel should be immediately shut down. But of course, it's not that easy because a lot of us use the YouTube standard license when you upload a video. And that standard license, people can take clips of your video and use it. There's nothing wrong if someone wants to talk about the topic you say in a video, so they put the clip of the topic you're going to talk about in their video, and they shout you out, and then they put a link to your video or your channel or video below in the description. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. If they want to go as far as send you a message saying, hey man, I used a clip of your video in my video, and I shouted you out and put your link to your channel in my description, that should be cool. Now for those people who say I don't want anybody to use any part of my video, well, you need to collectively pull your head out of your ass. This is the internet. That's impossible anyway. Even with the creative license, people can still download your video and put it out there, whether you want them to or not. Just with the creative license, you could choose to not syndicate your video, which means no websites can link to your video and no playlists and stuff like that. But by not linking to websites and playlists, you're in a sense not being promoted, because being promoted and not promoted like money and millions of subscribers, promoted as in being the possibility that someone who likes your content and wants to interact with you and likes the same thing you do can. That's where the promotion's important. And because of that license thing, a lot of people use your clips, and there's nothing wrong with people using the clips. It's just, I wish YouTube would come down harder on the people who take people's videos. Because if someone takes your video and uses it, despite the fact it is standard license, you can still do like use of your image, or slander and stuff like that against them on copyright. So what is your opinion on people who steal other people's videos? And what do you think their punishment should be? Do you think they should get a 3-strike rule? Do you think they should be immediately shut off YouTube? What do you think? And I'd love to read your opinions and read them next video. So let's get to the other videos to check out this time around. And the next one is from QutaHunter with his new series called MTM, which is simply My Thoughts Monday. And he talks about, are you addicted to purchasing games? Which is actually a response to Meeting Flipper's Community Convo episode number 8. I'm addicted to purchasing retro games in the wild, to answer this question. the thrill to hunt at the pawn shop or the retro store or the garage sale of finding that game that I don't have. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be rare, just a game that I have fond memories of, and finding that in the wild. Not only finding it in the wild, but if I can find it for a good price, that to me is the thrill of the hunt in the wild. When I was a teenager, I was addicted to buying the newest game because I wanted to have the latest, greatest. I kind of felt like I'd be left behind. Now it's like, well, I'm interested in this game, but I'm not interested enough to pay full price. I'll wait till it comes down in price. So that's my answer to that question. So next tag video is from MaximumRD. His open tag, what pisses you off the most as an eBay buyer? I can answer this as an eBay buyer and eBay seller. I used to have an eBay store for a year and a half. But on the eBay buyer side, what really makes me mad as a buyer is when somebody uses a stock photo and doesn't use the actual photo of the item they're selling. And another thing that really won't let me rebuy with an eBay seller, to be honest with you, is when they don't properly protect the item they're selling me. A lot of people can complain about the post office. The truth of the matter is, a lot of reasons why these things get damaged is because the people who sold you the item didn't take the proper time to package it properly and protect the item. To me, when someone properly packages the item, that's showing me that they respect what they're doing, and they respect the person who bought the item. That person who properly packages their item to protect it, I'll rebuy from that person. That person doesn't, forget it. I mean, I've got comic books from someone, it's rolled up in a ball and a rubber band in an envelope. I've had a simple trading card thrown in there with no protective sleeve or anything. So that's what, as an eBay buyer. Now, if you want to ask me as an eBay seller, one of the things that drove me crazy the most about being an eBay seller is people don't read squat in the description of an item, and they'll buy it, and they'll complain to you, well, I thought this thing was complete. If you could read and read the description, you would have seen that it describes exactly what was not in that item. So, he had another tag video this week you might want to check out. It is your favorite and least favorite Super Nintendo and Genesis games, or Super Famicom or Mega Drive, depending on where you live. I can only think of my favorite right now. On the Super Nintendo, Super Mario World. On the Genesis, Shining Force 2. So next video up is from VideoGames101.com. Star Soldier 1 and Jasonrelaxation talk about what made us join YouTube, baby. So it's really cool to see two guys from YouTube sitting together talking about their influences on YouTube and why they make videos, and of course with their usual funny comic style. Next up is Pocketmego's Game Wrong 11/16/2011. So in the this time around in his Game Wrong series, it first of all talks about PETA with Super Mario 3D Land. And I'm going to say this about nonprofit groups, okay? When they originally were started, the person who had the original mission and vision of the nonprofit probably had good intentions. But then when you become a nationwide nonprofit and you start getting all kinds of money, and you don't have to report where that money goes, by the way, depending on what way you label your nonprofit. Kind of like Haiti, the Bill Clinton and George Bush thing, their nonprofits have yet to put last year's tax return in because they don't want you to know where the money really went. But anyway, and so they either do things to get publicity, or they simply lose their mind and go crazy and just simply like, PETA, okay, you can't harm any animal at all for any reason at all. You can't hunt them. They're supposed to have equal rights as we do. And so they take something like Mario, and instead of, because this game was announced for a long time, it wasn't like it came out today, right? They could have, formally said something to Nintendo about it. Instead, they make this violent, disgusting game of Mario, which is disgusting. They're pathetic. I don't like PETA anyway. It just enforced my idea about them. And then he also talks about Sony, and Sony decided, yes, you can play your PSP games on your PS Vita, but you have to register with the PlayStation Network, and then you have to pay a fee so you can transfer your games over to your Vita. So, just to check out his series. Really cool series. The next up is Sandamtod Open Tag. What game you are most proud of beating? To be honest, that is a tough question. But I'll answer this simply. And this is back in my NES days. That would be Kid Icarus. That game, me and my best friend played that game over and over and over again. It took us forever, but we eventually beat that game. That is the game I'm most proud of beating, because that game was hard. And if you want to have a little funny side, check out his, I think I was brainwashed into buying SKYRIM, because of it, talking about his friends at work were talking about it, he ended up buying the game. Just a funny little fun take on why someone bought a game. So for some more news, check out CherubicWindigo's Nerdy News 40, game piracy up 20%. Now this is, of course, NPD's numbers. Other numbers say differently, but let's just say this. As long as game prices stay high, and as long as there are people who want to play the game, they're going to download it illegally, right? There's no way to stop it from happening. But when publishers do stuff to make people mad, piracy goes up. When the economy is bad, piracy goes up. People either can't afford to buy the game, or one reason or the other. Piracy's never going away, okay? That's why I laugh at the whole combat piracy thing. It's kind of like the war on drugs. It's never going away. Someone will always find a way to get something if they really want it. So next up is RandyGillian. Subscribers and viewers, I need your help. Reseller follow-up, share your experiences. So he wanted you to share your experiences with resellers. I've never actually gone somewhere where resellers sell stuff, but I've run into resellers at garage sales before, where they go in and they just buy everything. Doesn't matter what it is. They'll buy the game, they'll buy it all. They just want to buy it, and especially when they know it's a cheap price, they want to get it home, they want to put it up on eBay or wherever it is, and jack the price up and make money off of it. Resellers, I don't like resellers because they don't care about the game and the history, they just care about money. So, just to check out the video and make a video response. So, let's read some of the comments from YouTube Gaming Community number 133. And the first one is by Electric Adventures, and he says, and by the way, 133 I was talking about YouTube meetups. Are YouTube meetups going to be a big thing? And his comment was, I think that is where the community is heading. Like-minded people have met online and formed into groups where practical that will lead to regular get-togethers, just like computer owners of the 80s found user groups that had regular meetings, newsletters, etc. The technology of communication has changed, but people have stayed the same. Most of us retro gamers collect and still love the systems, as we want to go back to the great time we had using the system for the first time. I do think there'll be more meetups. I do think, and I don't mean meetup as in one person meeting another. I do think you're going to see group meetups. I do think that's going to be a bigger thing, because I think that is the next step for this community. We make videos, we start talking to each other, and then meetups are just natural, because in a sense, we are in the early stages of this community, just like it's the early stages of the internet. Okay, we're just finding our way of what community actually means. And I think people meeting together and playing would be a really cool thing. 8-Bit Goomba said, I like the idea of community meetups. A YouTube gamer is just a friend you haven't met in real life. I hope to set up a meetup next month, maybe even 2 in the same weekend. We shall see. As far as where it goes, I hope it becomes something we see more often. Who better to game with than someone you talk to on YouTube? First of all, I do believe that in a lot of ways you are a friend you just haven't met, because when you watch someone's video, you know about that person. Most people who make videos on YouTube, they're talking of themselves. They're not trying to make a fabricated experience to make you like them. And good luck. Hopefully his meetup goes really well. Next up is the Completionist, and he said, I do think YouTube meetups are going to be a big thing, because it's a way for gamers to feel more accepted within their own peers, and any avenue to share interest with other people in a positive light will only make this community stronger. Granted, I'm getting ready to go to my first YouTube meetup this weekend, but for me it's more about meeting people that I call friends than just meeting guys I watch on YouTube and sharing gaming interests with. And I do think, by the way, going to a meetup is very nervous because you actually know the person, or maybe you look up to that person. That's where the nervous part of a meetup comes in, right? Say it's somebody big in the community, or maybe not even big, but somebody you respect. When you meet that person, you might be very nervous because even though you know they're a person, in your mind you might build them to be something they're not. And then Red South City said, 2 of my best friends are friends from YouTube, and I travel every year to see them as much as I can. I can't afford to go to the big expos for meetups, but I can see more people becoming physical friends. And I do think that is going to happen. I do think physical friends over time, or maybe in general, maybe just guys you get online, Xbox Live, PlayStation 3, Skype, you talk to them on Skype, or you end up playing games together every night. And last but not least, as Tom360 says, I wouldn't be surprised if it starts with local meetups and then more people traveling to other states, in time maybe traveling to other countries. It'd be nice to see YouTube sponsored gatherings, which you never know. You could see that someday, YouTube sponsored gatherings, because despite what people say, the gaming community is one of the biggest growing communities in all of YouTube. If you just look at the videos and channels, this community is growing leaps and bounds on a daily basis. So guys, that's all for this video. I will see you guys soon.